come on, I don't want it. Hey there, welcome back to Painted. We are in our brand new studio. Welcome, welcome. And we are going to introduce you to some of our new products, and we being me. So, one of the products I'm carrying is Resin Art 2-part, I can't reach the other jug. Resin Art 2-part epoxy. I know a lot of people get anxious about epoxy and are a little intimidated by it, so I'm going to demo it for you so you don't have that intimidation factor. I may have to step away in a minute and go shift the lighting around so y'all can see better, or I might ask my friendly handy dandy assistant who's standing over there making faces at me, and I won't show you her face, to go grab the blue light that's over there and pull the plug and shift it around so that the light's shining down here where we're going to work. Thank you. All right. So back to what we were doing. Now the cool thing with resin is everybody's used to it for tabletops and all kinds of things, but I found a company that makes these gorgeous metallic pigments called Resin Art. This color happens to be mermaid. Yes, I know you all are seeing it sideways. Oh well. And all right, everybody says I'm sideways, even though the camera should be reading like I'm not, so I'm gonna turn it around. How about that? Well, now it's crooked. Let's see if I can do this without flipping the camera out somewhere. All right, Lori, I tried not to be sideways. I tried to have the camera doing it, but I'm working with a new camera and sometimes it doesn't do the same things that it used to do. Yeah, that's pretty good. You wanna angle it down a little bit? My friend is angling my light down so you'll see what I'm doing better. Yay, I did it. All right, so we're working with Resin Art 2-part epoxy pigments. These pigments are designed only to go into 2-part epoxies. They are not designed for other things. Now, if you buy them from me and find they go into other things really well, I'd love to hear about it, but this is specifically designed for solvent-based products. So, I'm gonna aim the camera down. You're gonna see what we're doing. I'm gonna start with, we're gonna pour a little because this stuff kind of does interesting art pours. Let's see if I can get the camera to show me better. Sorry for the wobble. I have to get you so that you can see things. All right, so here's our boards. I am using gesso board that I just happen to have in my stack, and I got them at Dick Blick. And obviously they're so brand new, they're still in their plastic. So I'm gonna set them aside for a second and we're gonna talk about pouring epoxy. You need a flat bottom container, some stirring sticks, and then 2 other containers, and that one had water in it and I just threw it at myself. That was very good of me. Here we go. 2 other dry containers, 2 dry containers. So what you do with epoxies is 1 part's a hardener, 1 part's the resin. These come with a nice cap on it so that you can seal it back up, and they are a 1-to-1 mixture, meaning they're equal parts. So I'm actually going to pour out quite a bit because we're going to do a couple things with this in this live. So this is the hardener, and I poured that in 1 cup. And then this is the resin. And for those interested in knowing, this is 0 VOC and BPA free. So I'm going to pour this, and you have to be really accurate in pouring even amounts, because if they're not, the amounts aren't even, this won't harden right, or it'll harden super brittle and you won't be happy with that either. I'm going to sit down so I can see my pours to make sure they're even. A little bit more, just a touch more. Okay, now I've been doing a lot with epoxies over the years, so I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff. If you're not good at eyeballing, don't. Use measuring cups, plastic measuring cups, metal measuring cups. Obviously, either works fine. So now I have these 2 poured. I'm going to put on my gloves. And I can't always see you because I'm too far away, so I will have to take a minute and pull up to find what everybody's questions are. Or Camilla, could you pull up my live and shoot me the questions as I'm doing this? I'm using nitrile gloves. With this, you could get away with using just regular hairdressing gloves. I happen to like nitrile gloves. They're a little more protective for something like this. And I just keep pulling them off. They just keep coming. I think I pull one glove and I've pulled 5. I'm gonna have to go to my page painted to find the live. And here we go. So first I'm pouring in the hardener. Why do I pour the hardener in first? It's thinner. It's way easier if I scrape all of this out and pour the thinner product in first and then pour the thicker one in. So 2-part epoxy, equal parts. First I poured the thinner part in, which is the hardener, and then I pour in the resin part. It makes it easier to mix because the thinner part sort of encapsulates the resin first, so you don't have to scrape all the thicker, heavier stuff off the bottom of the pot. All right. There we go. My friend's iPad is not wanting to pull up the... Her iPad froze. We've both been having frozen iPads all day. It sounds like a dessert, but it's not. All right, and the next thing you're going to do is mix it up really well. Most of these things say stir for about 5 minutes. And you're going to go through the bottom, and you're going to scrape, and you're going to mix, and you're going to mix, and you're going to scrape. And you're going to scrape, scrape, scrape. Usually what I find is once I get little bubbles sort of popping and flying, I've mixed it enough, and then I always mix a little extra. Don't ever breathe in those little bubbles that come up. That's why my face is way out of the picture here, because that stuff actually will harden in your lungs. You don't want to do that. So, and don't worry about bubbles in your resin mixture. That will be taken care of later. Stir, 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 stir. Let's see. I seriously can't reach that phone. That's too far away. All right, we got that all really well mixed up. And then I have little cups here. So we've got 5 colors. I have mermaid color, blue, sea glass, which is this pretty green, clementine, which is going to be a rich orange, spiced ginger, which is going to be a kind of goldeny orange, and platinum rose, which is going to be exactly what it sounds like, sort of a rose silver. And I'm going to pour 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have these little Dixie cups and I've doubled them up because otherwise they get too soft too fast. Why am I using Dixie cups? Well, they're going to break down a little easier in the long run than plastic cups, and B, I had a lot of them. Quite frankly, that's what it is. So the instructions for resin art pigments are you use about 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of pigment per ounce of epoxy. And I'm pouring around 1.5 ounces. My bartender days are coming back to me. I remember how much is in a shot. Don't ever mix up more than you can use at one time, because if it sits in this pot too long, it's actually going to set up on you. So I only mixed as much as I'm going to use for this video. I'm going to open each one, slowly because I don't want to get a face full of pigment powder. And where did I put my little measuring spoons? Over here. I bought a bunch of 1/8 teaspoon measuring spoons on Amazon. They're really heavy. They're actually very strong. You can see. I got them specifically for this because they don't stain. I got an 1/8 teaspoon, I got a rounded 1/8 teaspoon since I'm over an ounce. So there's that for that. Are you still not able to log on?
I have to download Flash Player now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why is it making you load flat? My friend's iPad is even weirder than mine.
It's
oh
not
my God.
supported by my device. OMG.
Haven't you ever watched my lives on things before?
I have.
Then your iPad's weird.
Well, we were talking about this earlier.
Yes, you can hear the chatter in the background because we have weird things. We swear our iPads are haunted today. Okay, I'm just putting in a little over 1/8 of a teaspoon of the sea glass in another cup. You're going to notice I'm moving a little slower, but it's because I'm being careful. Once the epoxy spills, it goes everywhere. It's going to be all over me. So I want to make sure I only get what I need. And now I'm going to put a little of the clementine, rounded 1/8 teaspoon, into this cup. You notice I'm not mixing right away. I'm just letting the pigments settle down into the 2-part epoxy, and that's fine. All right, spiced ginger. Another rounded 1/8 teaspoon. And we're gonna go for this gorgeous platinum rose. There we go. All right, those are all in there. I'm gonna reach back and grab some stir sticks and mix them all up. Do not mix your stir sticks together. Don't get them all mixed up, you'll be sorry. First, you'll carry pigments around that will not make anything pretty. So here we go, mixing it. Look at how that just dissolves into that color. All that color goes in, no lumps, no bumps, gorgeous smooth color. Oh, I'm very happy with that. All right, there's that one. And this is the sea glass. That color's so pretty, so pretty. I'm gonna pull that lamp a little closer. There we go. Now see the color's a little better. All right, so this is the sea glass. See how pretty that color is? Gosh, I love that. And now we're going into the clementine. And we've got the spiced ginger, which is sort of this, like I said, sort of very warm, goldeny, orangey brown color. It's really pretty. And then we have the platinum rose, which is also, it's this pinky silvery color. God, look how pretty that is. Pinky silver. All right, so I've got all my colors mixed up. Can you read the questions from there? Because I can't read them.
I'm gonna see what I can do here.
I'm too far away. I'm blind. Normally I have my own iPad set up, but it's been being cranky, and now hers is being cranky. So I can read.
Okay. Oh, Cynthia Miller. Hi, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia.
I missed the brand of colors you are using from Shirley.
Okay, Shirley. We are using Resin Arte pigments specifically for epoxy from Color Art. I carry these products. You can see them on my website, which is finally open to the public, www.paintedstudio.com. And yes, you can buy them. Yay. And guys, please share this video. The more shares we get, the more viewers we get, the more exciting ideas that come through. I think it's gonna be a great thing. And then pretty soon I'm gonna be doing contests for people to win goodies. So I need share. Can you read what's going on? I see questions coming.
Just Hyson from Chris Smith. I love the platinum rose, says Anne.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous color. So here's what we do. Normally I like to do metallics on a black background because I think they pop better, but I happen to have these white gesso boards, so we're gonna see what happens. And we're gonna try pours a couple different ways today. So I got 3 or 4 boards and we're gonna mess with them. So first I'm gonna just pour this on. And we're gonna do this a little like, you know, dirty pouring, for those of you who are familiar with that. And I'm gonna take this blue and kind of smear it to the edges. Another reason to wear gloves. Ah, my friend's helping.
I'm helping.
Camilla, my friend Camilla is in the background helping, sort of.
So Maury, what's mixed with your pigments?
2-part epoxy.
Okay, both parts?
Yes, you have to mix both parts or they don't harden.
Yep, just checking.
All right.
In case somebody came in late.
All right, so I got the clementine in there. I've got that. I have no idea how these colors are going to look together. They're either going to be amazing or god-awful. As you can see, it's starting to level out on its own. But what happens here is when you start playing with it, some of the colors sink, some of them get higher, and you have this gorgeous blooming situation happening. You get cells without even trying. So there's the platinum rose poured in. And let's see, what other color have I got? This is the ginger peach. Now you can see a lot of this is gonna pour off the edge. And by the way, what's under here? This is silicone paper. My husband's company manufactured silicone paper for companies like Stay Free. And the bonus of it was that I always got rolls of silicone paper. So this means that this can roll onto here, dribble onto here, it'll peel off no problem, and then I can just peel it off the paper. I can peel the leftover epoxy off the paper and it'll do great things. Okay, so you can see I've got this kind of filled up. So this is gonna squish off and level a bit.
Yes, and Guppy is here.
Yes, I've adopted Camilla. She's decided to live with me forever.
Cynthia says congrats.
Oh, thank you, Cynthia.
I miss you, Cyn.
All right, so you see we've got all this, and I can leave this way and it looks kind of cool, and it'll just sort of ooze off, or I can start playing with it a little bit, and I can shift it and getting it all over to down all the edges. And I can even do interesting things like, where's one of my mixing sticks? I had a stash, here we go. I can take my stick and I can do this through it. And I can pull, and it starts looking like Italian marble, that Italian marbled paper. And you get killer snake trails through it. Not snail trail. That sounds kind of gross. And look how pretty this is. And this will continue to shift. So while it's setting up like this and it's gorgeous, it will also then spread a little more. And so what finally comes out of this, you have to be able to release control and be able to say, okay, well, I really love that, but I hope I like what it does later better, because it will continue to do stuff. And look how beautiful that comes out. Let's see if I can zoom the camera down, if it'll let me.
Oh, Cynthia, no, there's no more extra rooms. Maury's full.
All right, let me bring this down here this way. Look how gorgeous that is. I think that's gonna show it pretty well. All right.
It's very pretty.
It's so pretty. I love this stuff. So I'm gonna put this to the side and let it dry. I'll grab another piece of epoxy paper, silicone paper. And this is, anybody recognize these? I did these at Becky Van Meter's class in another place. By the way, if you hear doorbells ringing, things chiming, I have customers coming in. My friend Camilla's helping me out. And let me get a piece of two-part epoxy. Two-part epoxy. I'm determined that everything's two-part epoxy. All right. Getting another piece of silicone paper. Putting it over the Lazy Susan. And look, here we got a gesso board. Now we're going to try, I've seen this done. I've seen this done with other products. So I've never tried doing it this way with epoxy. Whoops, almost threw everything across the room. So I'm going to put a little more color, a little more epoxy in each one of these cups. And then I'm going to put some pigment in them. And we're going to do a stacked dirty pour and see what happens. It's okay, you guys are allowed to talk in the background.
So have your open.
Thank you.
See, here, if you want to come see what she did.
I've got people coming in, so don't worry about this. And then I'm going to show you how you torch this stuff in a sec. So, where did my... I'm going to just use a little dipstick. I actually have people in here watching what I'm doing, so that's exciting. I'm going to put a little more pigment in each one of these cups, and we're going to try a stacked dirty pour. And then I'm going to show you all how you torch an epoxy finish. But I want to do all the finishes first, because it'll stay open for a while. All right. Mix a little more. We'll see how this goes. I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm warning you now. So if I'm not answering your questions, it's honestly because I cannot see the phone, I'm doing this on my phone. The phone's a little too far away for me to see. So if I miss your questions while I'm doing this, I promise I will answer them after I'm finished, and I'll go through the feed and read everybody's questions. You are not being forgotten. All right, what else did I need? I needed the clementine color. All right. All righty, so got a little more color mixed. We're gonna see how this, I have no idea how this is gonna work, so everybody wish me well. Oh yeah, that other pour is just like seeping off the table. It's very cool. All right, let me take a minute and scroll up after I stir these to read the questions and see what you all have to say. Alrighty. Okay, let me lift this up for a second to read your questions. Got extra room. Yes, it's two-part epoxy, Cynthia. It's Art Resin's two-part epoxy. What if I rolled a cup across it? I don't know. Let's see what happens. I am still streaming. Everybody's still working. All right, everybody. I did not miss any questions, so here we go. We're going to do a stacked cup pour, and we're going to see how that works. Let me squirrel this down. Sorry, the thing is bouncing. It's my tripod. It's the first time I've set anything up in the studio since I moved in. All right, let's see here. We're going to go. We're going to start with the green. And then we're going to pour in some orange, or this is the ginger. This is the platinum.
It's neat. Can I grab a cookie for me? Oh, absolutely. My daughter, she didn't come in, so she's gonna.
This is the blue. Now I've seen these stuff. What happens is cells sort of pop out, and you'll see other colors do interesting things with the epoxy, but I don't know how this is going to work. I've seen this stacked dirty pour stuff with acrylics, so now we're going to try it with this. So now I'm going to, all those colors are in here, and I'm going to take this and do this and see how this works. Wow, that's really pretty. All right, so I'm just gonna scrape. I'm not even scraping because all the colors are still staying kind of interestingly separated. And now we're gonna kind of mush it around and see, get them all in the different corners and stuff.
It was funny because I was over at my hairdresser's and they like redid their place.
All right, so you can see I'm tipping things. I got to get to all the corners. All right.
Yes.
I think some of the colors disappeared a little bit when we did this,
But I mean, like,
but
something like that.
yeah, let's pull some of this. I'm gonna pull a little of the green over here,
Like, so you could do that and place
and I'm gonna take a little bit of the blue separate because the blue is what seemed to have disappeared. So I'm gonna do that here.
the one they chose was really nice. Don't get me wrong, but
And then maybe, I think platinum rose kind of went away too, so I'll put a little platinum rose here.
so those are foils with like this is
And let's get this all rolling around.
let's see, is this a foil as well?
I need to get everything. I'm thinking the dirty cup pour may not have been the most successful one.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna just pull my fingers in through here. Now this is all experimenting, so we don't worry if it doesn't come out exactly the way we were hoping. All right, now I've done these two. The next thing to do is, I think it still too would have looked better over black. So here's, all right, I want to pull some of this back out into the blue, but I like the way it's coming out. All right, so everybody shows you, you know, in big countertops, you can do it with blowtorch. You can do this with a blowtorch, but I also have a little one. All right, I can do that. I'm supposed to lock.
To sell for like the last, I do it myself for the last 30 years. But
All right, now you don't torch the actual product, you torch over it. And it makes all the bubbles pop, but it also tends to make the pigments rise and lower. So the heavier pigments will fall a little bit to the bottom and you'll get some bloom on there. All right. Let's see, I'll get that. I'm being very careful because, you know, I'm on gesso board here. So if you don't want to torch into this stuff, it won't be pretty. You can actually burn furniture and the board underneath. And I'm turning that off. I'm going to go and aim this over so maybe you can see me do torching the other one. Ooh. Sorry, you're going to see a strange view. All right, let's see if you can get that one right there. And I've got 2-part epoxy all over everything, so this could be very challenging when I take my gloves off. So I pull that down, I pop that on, push the continuous flow, and there we go. It's bringing up all the bubbles. And I am getting little tiny cells of color and stuff happening. And as you can see, my floor's not completely level, so everything's kind of running off to one side. So I'm going to turn around. And, oh yeah. I'll bring the camera closer so you can see how each of these are settling. Let's see if I can turn it around. Let's turn it that way. All right. So, I take my gloves off and come up and look at you guys in the face. So, woohoo. Whoops, sorry, I'm gonna flip it off. I'm just gonna hold on to the phone for a minute now. Sit down on a chair. As you can see, 2-part epoxy is not as scary as everybody thinks it is. It's messy, it's goofy. How long do I have to play with it? It's got a good 30-45 minutes pot time. You don't wanna mix up big batches of this because it can get hot. Like any 2-part chemical reaction, it can get warm. My bucket is actually not too bad because I didn't mix up too much. But I don't mix up more than I'm going to use at any given time. I'm going to play with this a little more. I got one more board to do, and maybe I'll do a crazy stripey one. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it look like all kinds of stuff. I have no idea. I'm playing with it. It's my first day playing in my studio just to play while I'm open. As you heard, we had a customer in here who was lovely. Unfortunately, I was talking with you all, so fortunately, my friend Camilla.
She's very excited. She says congratulations, and she's so psyched you opened up, and she does stuff too, but nothing to your level of artistic.
Well, as you can hear in the background, my friend was helping me out and talking with the customer while I was talking with you. And she seems like she's very excited about the studio. God knows I am. I've spent a long time building this. Anyway, if I missed your questions, I will check this to make sure I haven't forgotten anybody. Please share, share, share. The more shares you give, the better viewing audience I have, and the more people get to experience Painted Studio. It's important for the way Facebook works is that you have to share videos and let me know. Reading your questions as they came across, I totally blanked. Facebook's algorithm is to get the best reach, everybody needs to share. So I'm asking all of my friends who are watching to share, 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 share. You'll help me, and we'll have great contest groups, and we'll have lots of fun. Yes, let me go back to a couple questions I saw. Annette, what did I mix the pigment with? 2-part epoxy. The one I'm using in the studio here is Arte Resin. I carry both the pigments and the epoxies. If you go to my website, which I will put in this post, you can order them and I will send them to you. I have all kinds of sizes in the kits and all kinds of great colors and pigments. So I think you will be so thrilled. Anyway, I hope you all are having a great Saturday afternoon. It's a little rainy here. My chalkboard sign is where it said it's open. It says, because it all melted off. So, have a great Saturday. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. This, yes, you can use this for countertops, but I don't think this is the strongest. This is more of an Arte Resin. I would use it for tabletops. This works, for example, this works great with Stone Decor's 2-part epoxy. I've used it in that. It'll go into any these pigments will go into any 2-part epoxy. So even if the epoxy I carry is not strong enough for what you want to do, like kitchen countertops, you can always use the pigments. They are designed to go into any 2-part epoxy. All right, everybody. This is awesome. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate your being here. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bye.